With companies, sometimes we get lucky where they say, hey, I have this specific problem. Bitergia, you can help us. And the manager's on board, their manager's on board, the budget is there. And then we just have to work through the procurement process, which can take another 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months.
Yeah. And I know, Avi, this is a pain point that you've experienced in the past as well. And I think this gets back to what you were saying earlier, Georg, was it's about the relationships. And relationships don't happen overnight. It takes a lot of times months, if not years, in some cases, to build those relationships. And I've seen that from an open source perspective when, I look at where somebody starts to engage with a project to the point where they're willing to buy. In many cases, it could be 3 to 5 years. And, it's a process of getting comfortable not only with the software, but the people behind it.
Yeah. And the ones where I have the most fun in this process are the ones where they say, hey, I really see the value in this tool. I cannot convince my team, my managers to invest yet, but I'm going to deploy your open source software, manage it myself. And then after a year or two, they just say, it's too much work for me. Bitergia could do it much more efficient. And let's, then they get the buy-in after already showing how all these metrics are valuable to the organization to, again, free up their time and focus on other things. So being open source is really nice in this case because we can already provide value even without informal engagement.
It's really the original product-led growth model, if you think about it, because you deploy the product and the product, if it's good enough, you can generate sales off of it.
Like sometimes getting your foot in the door with a potential customer is one of the harder parts at the end of the day. And like the open source model just lowers that barrier of entry to get your foot in the door to very, very little, which is great. I think that's a very underrated aspect of that model. Yeah,
absolutely.